Hello. Happy Wednesday. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. If you're celebrating and hopefully if you're traveling, you're super safe because it's getting crazy out here in these COVID streets. You know what I mean? So definitely be safe out there. I have like a little bit of a dual screen thing here going on so I can make sure that it's streaming properly to Facebook because we're still experimenting. I'm using a different platform today. So y'all let me know if it actually works, slash if it's in real time. Definitely comment if my video looks slow still and or if the sound doesn't work. I'm still testing things out. So if it is, let me know for sure because I want to get it right one of these days. So, hey, I'm Nady. Happy Wednesday. Welcome to the live. I'm a licensed professional counselor in Houston. I'm the owner of Freedom Psychotherapy and Wellness Services. I primarily focus on providing therapy and wellness experiences to help my clients go from feeling depleted and numb and weak to feeling whole and energized in their absolute best selves. So if you'd like to get started and like totally skyrocket your wellness success, I do have a free checklist for you that you can download. It's called the Tiny Steps Checklist. I give steps for like 6 different areas of your life, of your well-being, so you can start where in whatever place it makes sense for you, and they're super small so you can like gain that momentum. So to download it, like I said, it's totally free. I'll drop the link like in the comments, but it's connect.freedomcyclotherapy.net/checklist. So definitely check it out. Again, it's free and it'll help you skyrocket your wellness to gain some momentum. All right. So what we're doing today. So I have one question, literally an answer for one question for you today, and maybe a question and a half, but we're answering the question today because we've been posting on Instagram and on this Facebook page trying to shine a light on mental health, our favorite thing to work on over here. And one big thing that people tell me a lot, like people that are reaching out to me to help them find other therapists, people that are looking for me and consulting with me to be their therapist, they they often are like they aren't sure who they're looking for. So the question is like, how do I know if I need a therapist versus a psychologist versus a psychiatrist, and what's the difference? So that's the question we're going to answer today. So let's jump into it and start with all the different types of mental health professionals that can provide counseling or psychotherapy. So lesson one there is that counseling and psychotherapy, same word, they are synonyms and interchangeable. So the different types of mental health professionals, you have a psychologist, which is a PhD or a Psych D. So this is the person that you would call doctor such and such that does therapy or counseling. Number two, a licensed professional counselor or a licensed clinical counselor. That would be what I am. So they would go at the end of their name, they'd have LPC or LCC, depending on what state they're in. But in Texas, you would see LPC. You could also see an LPC associate. So that's a licensed professional counselor associate. That person's under supervision. They have the same license as me. They just graduated more recently. You could see a licensed clinical social worker. We all know social workers. Or you would see a licensed master social worker, which is like the LPC associate, LMSW, licensed master social worker. Tongue twisters, are under supervision. So lots of different letters there, right? So we'll go back over them. But then you could also see a licensed marriage and family therapist or a licensed marriage and family therapist associate. Same thing, one's under supervision. There's also like nurse psychotherapists as well, which would be an RN. with extra training in counseling. You don't see those as often, but that could be a person as well. So I'm going to go back through in letters. So a psychologist, which is Dr. such and such, an LPC, LPCA, LCSW, LMSW, LMFT, LMFTA. So that's like at least 7 different like letters back there. All these people provide the same level of care and treatment. The letters literally don't matter. They all provide the same things. And then I get there's also some other super specific types of therapists like LCDC's licensed chemical dependency counselors or dance therapists or recreational therapists. So we're not going to cover those though, just because I want you to know who you can go to for general mental health needs, not like hyper specific ones. But if that's something you want to know about, definitely let me know after, if you're watching this later, drop it in the comments or, send me a DM if that's something you want to know more about. But in general, you have your psychologists, your licensed professional counselors, your licensed social workers, clinical or masters. So LMSW, LCSW. I'm getting like tongue tied with all the letters, right? And then licensed marriage and family therapists or So all these people, same thing. They all do the same thing. So don't worry. None of these people, so this is the trick, is that none of these people can prescribe you medications. That's the thing. I think that's where we get like the confusion, or at least where when I talk to people, this is where the confusion comes in, because they don't know if we prescribe meds or if we can help with all the things. And all we do is counseling and therapy, no medications. So which mental health professionals can prescribe medication to you? I'm glad you asked. That's why it's like a question and a half, because they're like, who do I see? A psychologist, a psychiatrist? I got you. Don't worry. Who does that? So a psychiatrist, that's number one. This is a medical doctor. A psychiatrist is a medical doctor. They went to medical school. They're not just doctor because of research they did in the PhD. They went to med school doctor. So that's why it's a little bit confusing, I think, sometimes for people, because they see Dr. Such and such psychologist or Dr. Such and such PhD, and they think it's the same. So the way LPC, LMFT, or LMSW is at the back of our names, that's what would indicate to you that we provide therapy. So when you see MD at the back of somebody's name, that indicates medication. You could also see DO. Y'all know doctors of obstetrics. Is that the word? Doctors of, I don't know if I said that right, but you could see DO or you could see MD. Those two are medication providers, not usually therapy. Although psychiatrists, back in the day did a lot of therapy, but I haven't run up on a psychiatrist that's done therapy. The one that I know of is about 80 years old. So that's not a thing. Medication only. The other mental health professional that can provide medications is a psychiatric mental health nurse practitioner. So a lot of us have nurse practitioners as our our primary care providers. Is that what I'm trying to say? Yeah. There's a lot of letters and like matching words in here. Sorry. But your NP, your nurse practitioner, if they're a psychiatric nurse practitioner, they can provide you medications too. So that's the thing. Just those two though. There is so a caveat would be there are certain states that psychologists can give medication in, but if you're in Texas, it's not one of them. I think they can provide medication psychologists can do meds in Iowa, in Illinois, New Mexico. I wrote it down. I don't know why I'm trying to remember. Iowa, Idaho, Illinois, New Mexico, Louisiana, on Native American reservations, psychologists in the military, and psychologists in Guam. They can provide medication. Shout out to Guam, right? So that's the only time. So I wouldn't worry about it if you live here in the state of Texas, if you live where I live. So that's the thing. So to recap, who can provide you with psychiatric medications, with psych meds? A psychiatrist. Yes, very good, very good. Or a psychiatric nurse practitioner. Very good. Good job, guys. Y'all are amazing. Y'all are so good at this. So yeah, it's really that simple. I know it's a lot of letters and a lot of names, but the so I guess to go back to the question is, how do I know which one I need? How do you know which one you need? The answer is whichever one you vibe with best. That's the answer. All are equally qualified to help you. So if you reached out, so say for example, you reached out to a therapist, you reached out to me, say hi to Dexter, everyone. Say you reached out to me and you're like, hey, I want, to see a therapist. I don't know if I need medications. And you like me and you want to continue working with me, I can let you know if you need to go ahead and go see a psychiatrist or an NP to get a medication evaluation, or vice versa. Say you go to your doctor, you go to your regular PCP, or you found a psychiatric nurse practitioner, you've never been to therapy before, and you talk to her and you're like, I don't know if I need therapy. Guess what? She'll tell you if you need therapy. Most doctors and MPs usually recommend therapy anyway. If you're going to take medications, they usually want you to do them in tandem. So it doesn't matter which one you go to, you're not going to mess it up. They're going to let you know what the next step is if another step is needed. So fear not. Fear not. I hope I answered this question. I always get this question. It's a lot. I know it's very anxiety provoking to start reaching out to someone for your mental health. It's such a thing. And any step you take is a valuable step, and it will get you where you need to go as long as you take the step. So that is the key. Just reach out to whoever, LMFT, LCSW, LMSW, LPC, blah, 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 ABCDE. It doesn't matter. Whoever you like the best and you feel comfortable with and you feel comfortable opening up and being honest with, they'll point you in the right direction of who you need. So, and then also, so another question is that they're all qualified to help us, but sometimes you hear all the words like therapy, like I said earlier, versus counseling. The names of everybody, I think, throws people off too. So like a social worker versus a counselor versus a psychotherapist, which is what I like to call myself. Most of these words are interchangeable. A social worker is a distinction, yes. A counselor is a distinction, yes. But I think for you, if you're looking for therapy, the name doesn't matter. It's the same. They provide the same things. We all come from different sort of angles and different schools of thought on how we treat and how we take care of people's mental health. But at the end of the day, like I said, it's what you vibe with best, what you feel good about. If you meet a person and you were like, I don't think I need a social worker, but then you really he was like the best conversation and like you got all this new perspective, keep them. Doesn't matter. LM, LC, LP, blah, blah. Keep them. Go with what works. So that's another thing, like something to like kind of take off your plate of worrying about when it comes to choosing a mental health professional. So like any one of us will do. You can call me. I got friends. You can call them too. It's all good. So this was a pretty simple overview though. So let me know in the comments what other questions you have about mental health professionals, obviously about mental health overall, because we're advocates over here. Like for example, like who does assessments and who does emotional support animal letters and stuff like that. So if you want to know answers to those kinds of questions, definitely let me know in the comments. And if it's something quick, I'll totally answer it in the comments, or we'll make a whole video about it, whatever. So that's it. I hope that helped. It's just one quick question that I get all the time. So I hope that I was able to lay it to rest and you are able to go out and find the type of person that you need to help you through whatever it is you're going through. Remember that, if you'd like to get started on your own wellness journey and literally like skyrocket your wellness success, I have a free checklist you can download with easy steps that you can use to get started on your journey. I give steps for 6 different areas of your well-being so that you can start wherever it makes the most sense for you, whatever area of your life. All you have to do is download it. It's totally free. I'll drop the link, like I said, in the comments below. But if you want to check it out, it's at Connect, connect.freedompsychotherapy.net /checklist. Have an amazing Thanksgiving holiday. If you're celebrating, please be safe out here in these COVID streets. And I'll see y'all next Wednesday. Bye. Good night.